What's up? It's your boy Nasukra Tsuki, and today I am in my bedroom. This is where I do my writing. This is my comfy chair. It's not that comfy. Anyways, today I'm sending this little update out via YouTube, Wattpad, Twitter, everywhere because I just want to give y'all an honest update as to, what all's going on my Wattpad account. At the present time, we have a couple of stories running. Doki Doki Literature Club and Monsters is just taking off. And that is actually going to be the second fan fiction of my account. The first one and the most well read, which, by the way, thank you ever so much for the support on the Beyond Pokemon. It has really been an adventure researching into the newer Pokemon and actually building the characters in that story. I really appreciate that everybody has enjoyed that. And wow, what is the stats on that? Oh my god. Let's pull that up. The stats as I read it right now is 35 parts to the story, 1,549 reads, and 107 votes. Not to mention a whopping 384 comments. Y'all, just thank you very much for all the support. Thank you, Midnight Lilac, my dear little sister. You have been fantastic in supporting me, and I am so very blessed to have you in my life. The third book that is currently running is Caged. And a lot of people have actually asked me this as to why there has not been a resolution to that book yet. It is simple writer's block. I mean, that is how I roll. I have more than 5 different ideas rolling at the exact same time, and I just knock them out of the park as they come to me. And Caged has just been one of those books that has not exactly come to mind as much. And I really am sorry about that. I do see that I do have a whopping support on that as well. 13 parts to the book, 273 reads, 48 votes, and 38 comments. I am so sorry I'm neglecting this, but I will do my best to jumpstart that thought process a little bit more. The other book, or rather project that is running right now, is a little bit of poetry on my behalf. Currently 7 parts deep. And yeah, that's just, when I don't have any real thought process on anything, there's where I go. Poetry, right back to my roots. Death Wish has just recently finished up and has found its resolution in a 7 part completion. Death Wish was kind of my PDA. Sorry, PSA, not PDA. Nobody wants to hear about a PDA. PSA. Because of the fact of there have been people in my life that have been suicidal. And it really deeply hits home to me to know that there are other people out there that feel like they cannot actively talk about these things to people, whether they think, oh, I'll be labeled as a freak or a crybaby or something like that. If that strikes a chord with you, then yeah, you're right there with me. But we're on the same page. And I want you to understand, if I'm writing a book like this to get through to you, one person in a billion, then there's somebody out there that will listen. So go talk. Books on hold right now. The Zodiac of Kaitrolon. The Zodiac of Kaitrolon is currently on hold. It is, it's in writer's block too, and it just has not got far enough for me to actually want to publish that out, because if the ball ain't rolling, there's no point in starting it bouncing. The Little Spy Elephant is a testament to my grandmother. Before she died, she asked me to write a story on her behalf. Little Spy Elephant was the idea, the title for the story she wanted to write for children, and I did that this year. Main reason behind it is just simply a nod to my grandmother. Wonderful woman, put up with so much for me. I am very surprised that I did not die or get kicked out on the street or something. I was a terrible human being then. That was awful. But yeah, that was in honor of her, Emma Teresa, and we called her Mother, Mama, etc. for a good while, because that was her initials. Pact of Passion, and by the way, I'm just going down a list of how I see them, so keep in mind these are completely out of order. Pact of Passion has been put on a permanent and likely never to be revived hold. Simply because it's not that I am uncomfortable writing an adult book. I feel cheap writing an adult book because I feel like I am begging for reads. And that is not me. I do not beg for anything unless I am just absolutely in a hole. And reads are something that, it's not money. It's not food. So, I'm not going to beg for it. It comes when it comes. Okay, now I will address these real quick as we're getting off of order a little bit, and I want to get back on order of the books that are not yet being released. Let's address this first. The Dragon King, parts 1, 2, and 3 are complete. The Holy Castle, one of my first works on this website, unedited but complete. Not a lot of people enjoyed it. It's not exactly the format everybody likes to read. It's cool. Eventually we might revisit that. Right now, not so much. Think that, that puts us on the route to talk about books that have not yet been released that will be coming in the future. All the art for those books you can see on Twitter at let me pull that up so I can actually give you a legit address to go to. Alright, it is at Nasukra Tsuki. Also, yeah, that's where you can find me on Twitter. If you want to follow me, that is cool. I'm constantly tweeting out, following my favorite YouTubers, um, discussing topics with other writers and readers. So, if you want to follow me, you're cool to do so. I am almost constantly on there. Um, and if you're seeing this on YouTube, you already know I'm on YouTube under the same name. Alright, so the first book, and this is only in the order I see them, The Elementals. The Elementals is a very interesting story that we're going to visit in the future about a world where bards are the badasses. If you've ever played D&D or any other video-based turned game that had bards in it, they were likely not your first choice. And the reason being is bards are kind of buffer characters. They usually raise the other player's stats, or they protect them, or they heal them, or some other form of magic. But in this case, in Elementals, the Elementals will be the number one badasses in the world. My first thought process to this was, if you've ever seen a violinist, imagine a person playing a violin and the violin is summoning fire. Pretty much the idea. And I always thought that the violin was probably the best instrument for the element of fire, just simply because of how you play it. It is exactly like a torrent of fire dancing. It gives that illusion of the fire dancing. Other instruments will be added later for different elements, but at the present time, the violin is the starting point to everything. Alright. As I said before, the zodiac of Kaitrolan is not exactly off the ground yet. It has started into the process, but is behind the scenes being worked on. Fallen. Fallen is an interesting little book. I like to think that in the Christian religion, there was some things mentioned about how God created heaven and earth and the angels in heaven. Meaning there were some angels that never got the chance to live a mortal life. This is such a case, as the character on the cover is an angel and has been given the opportunity to live with a foster family on Earth. Don't exactly know where the setting will be. And, have an opportunity, year, 2, maybe 3, to live a mortal life. Should be interesting. Now, keep in mind, the majority of my books are anime based. They are based very strongly on anime. If they are not, I will very much tell you. The Galaxy Tree. The Galaxy Tree is the second children's book in my thought process library. And the point of the Galaxy Tree is that you've got this huge, huge tree. And the branches are full of what looks to be a galaxy. Just stars and everything. But every so often there's a star fruit that falls from that tree and grants the person that bites into it a wish. That should be that one. Eradicated. Sorry. This one will be post-apocalyptic. Probably less based on anime. In the sense of post-apocalyptic has never worked for me with anime. High School of the Dead was entertaining and very, 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 very full of fan service. And I am not a fan service person. I tend to cut quick to everything I do, and if it was fan service, I would just completely lose interest. All right. Oh, by the way, that's going to be kind of a Scooby-Doo gang situation minus the dog. Lots of different characters, different backgrounds, coming together and having to work together, which should involve a little bit of conflict and a little bit of character growth. A lot more character growth than some of my normal books. Tools of an Assassin. Now, if you have seen this cover yet, that's cool. If you haven't, I'm about to spoil it for you. You can start marking the spoiler at about 17 minutes on the video. Go. So the whole idea of this is that an assassin, anime based, has his tools of his craft. Why is there a woman in the briefcase? She's one of the tools. She is like a sleeper agent, something like that. And she is probably a lot stronger than she looks. That's where that one's rolling. You can now mark the spoiler being done at 1740. Alright. Time Bandit. If you've seen the cover, I worked a little hard on adjusting the color, making it work right. It's okay. I have not actually put down a premise for that book yet. Don't have a plot, don't have a setting. It is just free-floating idea out there at this point. The D&D from one world to another, that is supposed to be a situation of a playthrough between me, my little brother, and his girlfriend. It is not taking off as quick as I wanted it to. It is exactly stagnant in the water at this time. Under the Twilight Sky. Under the Twilight Sky is a romance book that I have not exactly got a premise or setting for yet, so it is also free floating in the water. Shadow Master. Okay, so this one I have ideas for. Okay, so Shadow Master, you'll see the cover on Twitter. It follows a character that is a conjurer, and he conjures spirits that are shadow-based. For that reason, he has actually trained very hard in this, and it is his premise of attack, his main point of attack. And this is kind of a Mortal Kombat situation where he gets a opportunity to take part in a tournament. The tournament is going to be called the Mage Knight Tournaments because everybody has a sense of magic. This is not there's this magic guy and he's fighting this guy with a sword. Oh my god, that guy with a sword is going to die. No. Everybody knows magic. Everybody's a mage knight. He should be a very interesting character to follow in the future. Broken. Broken has no plot, premise, setting, anything. It is also free floating in the water. Identity Crisis. Identity Crisis has a lot of ideas going for it right now. The cover, I worked so hard on that cover. It is amazing finding what I could use, what I couldn't use. It broke my heart. But okay, here's the premise. Everybody has their stories of, oh, you wake up in another world and you're this OP badass. Okay, you're an OP badass. In this case, you're not an OP badass. You are taking one person and splitting them into three people as he ventures into this new world. The personalities are a young man, a teenage girl, and a older, maybe not teenaged, man. And the point of this is those three have to work together to become one and return to their world again. I could not think of characters that would work less together than a little boy, a teenage girl, and an older man. I mean, it's just not going to happen. You're not going to have a very fluent transition there. There's going to be a hell of a lot of tension. Hell of a lot of tension. And that one is not yet released, not yet been worked on, but it's got ideas. Shattered Reality. That's going to be kind of a Fallout kind of situation. Post-apocalyptic, nuclear explosion, etc., etc. This one I'm going to wait on because I want to talk about its precursor book real quick. I Am Not a Hero. We had a huge competition on Freelancer for that cover, and it blew up. It just blew up. Everybody had art put in, and I want to personally put my voice out there and say thank you everybody that participated in that. It was fantastic. If yours didn't get picked, I am so sorry, but at the same time, keep looking for my name out there. There will be more. There will be more opportunities to win a prize. A cash prize. But yes, I Am Not a Hero is the precursor to Virus. And I am not going to spoil that at all. I am not going to give you the plot. I'm not going to give you the premise of that because I am keeping my lips so sealed about those two books. Those two books are going to blow up, and I want them to be amazing. So when you see that first book, I Am Not a Hero, roll out, you better believe Virus is coming right behind it. And Virus was originally released before, and I read through it, and I hated myself. I simply looked at myself in the mirror and I said, you wrote crap. Take it down. I took it down. Because I'm going to do a full rewrite. Everything's going to be different. It's going to be better. Much, much better. And if you have not seen those two covers, please check out Twitter. It's out there. It's waiting for you. Catch your eye and pique your interest. Alrighty. The Graveyard Tales. I had one of my favorite artists from Freelancer make that one for me. And I appreciate you so very much, my friend. You have amazing talent, and you have been true to me to the end. No matter whether you put your work in on one of my competitions or not, you are amazing, sir. Stay strong. And the Graveyard Tales are basically me going out and randomly picking names off of gravestones and writing a story about them. Kind of creepy. For everybody else, maybe not so much. But hey, nobody said I was normal. In fact, that would be incredibly insulting to say. I would be so insulted. Alright, names, titles that are not floating out there. Oh, I actually see that there might be something missing on my system. That is not good. Alright, let's see here. We Will Never Tell. We Will Never Tell. I'm pretty sure the cover is somewhere on my system. But We Will Never Tell is going to be kind of a comedy. Between a man and a woman. Possibly anime based. I have not yet figured that out. There is some talk with my dad over a book of his idea. That title and that cover will, for right now, stay a complete and utter secret until release. Let's just say it's going to be very action based. It is going to be very gun based. And if you are ever a fan of like the Mac Bolan books or Deathlands, Outlanders, anything like that, you're going to love his idea. His idea is one of a kind. Worth 1,000 words. I have not exactly figured out what that's going to be, but it is a nod to one of my favorite websites, worth1000.com. Worth1000.com is a website where a lot of people do a lot of photoshopping and gets their works out. And yeah, I've always enjoyed going and strolling through there and seeing everybody's work. It is fantastic. Let's see here. Nope. That is it. That is all of it. And for right now, that is my update. I would like to thank everybody that has read my books. I realize that there are a lot of you, and I hope you also do realize that this is not creepy in any way, but I do have a system on Wattpad that allows me to see where my readers have been reading from. And with my Beyond Pokemon, I'm just going to take me a quick stroll down memory lane and thank everyone. I would like to thank the guys and women who have been reading this book. You are absolutely fantastic, and I love you. And I would also like to thank my readers from Canada, the United States, India, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, Australia, the Philippines, and India. I thank you all. I hope everybody is staying safe and well. And yeah, thank you very much. I honestly did not expect to have that many people around the world reading my book. So yes, very much thank you, and stay safe out there. As you probably saw if you have been following, Beyond Pokemon. Beyond Pokemon has two different covers. One of the covers is the main cover you see on Wattpad, and then the second one is right around the interlude between the first part and the second part. And that cover represents the second part. Now, I have not yet started a plan for a third part of Beyond Pokemon. However, the fact that it may actually happen. It may get such a following that I am compelled to actually put out a third part to that book. If I do that, it will be tacked on to the original first and second parts, all in that thread. So, I hope that you will continue to show us support, and I very much appreciate you. And as always, thank you for reading. Have a nice day.